Thank you for joining us today, everyone. So we welcome you to the Infisign webinar on the future of AI-driven user provisioning and deprovisioning. So in this session, we will explore how AI is transforming user access management, including seamless provisioning, instant access revocation, and many advanced security features in it. So now it's a pleasure to introduce our founder and CTPO, Aditya Sandhanam, who will continue with the webinar and deep dive into the exciting innovations. Over to you, Aditya.
Okay, thank you, Richa. So, hi everyone. I think as Richa said, I'm Aditya Santhanam. I'm one of the founders and CTPO at Infisign. And so today we're going to be looking at a very interesting topic, which is how AI is transforming one of the most painful, but again, the most important aspect of IT and security, which is user provisioning and deprovisioning. So this is going to be like a very quick webinar that we are going to be looking at, and I'm going to be rather sharing my insights about how it is basically getting transformed, and how AI is going beyond just user provisioning and also automating, and also going to be working on a lot more aspects around security and automation. So we're going to be touching upon all of that. So yeah, so excited to get started. Richard, can we share the deck?
Yes, Aditya. Just I'm sharing.
Yeah, please move on. Yeah, second slide. Yeah, so starting off, with the security dilemma that we have today, again, which is most of the challenges that we have today is around, manual user access management. Predominantly, let's imagine something, right? So let's start with the reality that many of us already know. So let's say, there is a person leaving the organization. So what does it take for us to basically go about revoking their access across all of the applications, which is a very, very big challenge today, right? So that is something that which is a very big challenge. At the same time, after someone actually leaves the organization, even then there is a problem around who gets access to what, and do they still retain the access even after leaving the organization. So that's a very big security gap out there. The second one is today there is a lot of applications that are running on a multi-cloud environment, and there are hybrid environments today, right? So basically you can actually have any kind of access that might have got left over, with multiple environments that you might have today. And how do you manage your access across all of these environments is a very big challenge, right? And then the third one is scaling IT workflows. And so typically managing IT workflows is something. A part of it is user provisioning and deprovisioning, and a part of it could be a lot of workflows around, say, it could be password resets, it could be password policy, it could be account lockouts, it could be a lot of these ITSM tickets that are associated with ecosystems such as security, right? So that's one of the biggest challenges and bottleneck today. I think the fourth one is extending towards that, which is about overloaded with routine IT support tasks. And another thing is we've also seen a lot of user provisioning challenges when it comes to contractors and other external employees, who need access to your system, but they might not need access for a very long time, or they might not need a permanent access, right? So how would you handle just in time, provisioning and deprovisioning, which is a big challenge. Yeah. Yeah, the next slide. So now, coming to AI-driven user provisioning and deprovisioning, the foremost and the most, I'll probably explain it in a little different way, right? So you can probably imagine AI agents to be handling each of these tasks, separately, right? So for example, if you're looking at managing user provisioning and deprovisioning across, say, a certain application, right? So you can actually have an AI agent actually run separately. I'm going to be diving a little deep into it in the coming slides, but I'll probably touch upon what is evolving and what is currently available, right? So what is currently available is it could be like a simple chatbot that could be automating all your user provisioning and deprovisioning journeys across applications and hybrid environments. But what is behind the show is basically the way you actually create these agents and orchestrate these agents to get a few things done. For example, right, let's say I want to now create an entire workflow about let's say if a particular person leaves an organization, revoke a certain access around a cloud ecosystem, revoke a certain private key or a public key infrastructure, go about raising a ticket, and which can actually accelerate other teams' tasks, so that it's a checklist that you can actually complete. Right. So any of these tasks that we just mentioned can actually happen through an A2A kind of an interface. Right. So that is exactly where this entire ecosystem is now headed. And if you also notice, all of these workflows can actually act on top of multiple interfaces such as voice, email, Teams, or even Slack. Yeah, so we'll dwell a little deeper into this in the next slide. Yeah. So move on, Richa. Yeah. So, with regards to this, right? So if you notice, what we have on the left is all the interfaces that I was talking about, right? So let's imagine you have an interface around Slack, Teams, email, voice, and chat, right? So now all of these interfaces, you can, this is, before this, just to set the context for the slide, this is where, Infisign, we've been, working with the Tunai platform. Tunai is an agentic AI platform. And we use the workflow engine of Tunai to basically manage security. So that is something that the slide actually talks about. Let's say I have all of these interfaces that we have on the left, right? So now we have this entire AI middleware and workflow orchestration layer that you see in the middle. So now, how does this all impact? Let's say there is someone within your ecosystem, and they raise a request on Slack, right? So they're saying, there's someone in your organization leaving, and all of the user access needs to be deprovisioned for that particular user. Let's say if that's the scenario. So right now, using AI middleware and workflow orchestration, which is the Tunai layer, we are now able to basically create an agent using Tunai's workflow, which is an A2A workflow, agent to agent workflow. And we are able to create an entire workflow that has a certain MCP connections to a certain application. And these MCP connections are then managed using Infisign itself, right? For example, Infisign has access to, say, the SCIM provisioning and the single sign-on, if you see on the next layer over there. So Infisign basically takes care of the SCIM and then the single sign-on and all of this. So right now, let's say if they have to be removed, we can go through the SCIM provisioning, where the user revocation access can be triggered, and that in turn can actually go and act on that particular application. The response can be received and then later provided back to Tunai, which can then provided back to your interface, right? The interface can obviously be all of the interfaces that we spoke about. And this entire user provisioning and deprovisioning can happen across applications, irrespective of what kind of user provisioning or deprovisioning they support, because Infisign overall supports various protocols, right? It supports SCIM protocol. It supports APIs basically for user provisioning and deprovisioning. It can do your LDAP provisioning. So it basically can connect with all of these protocols. And by just connecting the Infisign's API layer to Tunai, now it becomes a very powerful orchestration layer, enabling you to play around with your security and enabling you to, build the security into a lot of your applications, and also at an agentic AI layer to basically provide a lot more outcomes. So this is something that we wanted to basically tease you with, because there's a lot of use cases that you can actually build out of this entire orchestration in between, right? So right now, this is something which is focused on user provisioning and deprovisioning, but it can be a lot more. Yeah, go ahead. So yeah, so now coming back to what we can, what we have tried accomplishing using, the AI-driven user provisioning. So we do real-time. We are able to now do real-time, just-in-time access provisioning. So let's say you want to now add a user to a service within AWS for about 5 minutes. Is possible using Infisign coupled with Tunai, right? So we are now able to basically provision that user, and the AI is able to handle what kind of services do they get access to, and hold all of that access for a certain duration, and even revoke them after after their access duration is reached. And zero trust model with AI access, again, we do not have to provide any we do not have to provide any access to them more than what they actually need at any particular point of time. So that is all that those are the things that can again be controlled, right? We have like one tap access management again with regards to AI. So we can actually bring the access control and access management to an agent. So all of that can actually be available at a fingertip, and even with at any single point, even with regards to your edge devices. Say, for example, if I want to have an agent that I need to deploy it on my phone to basically manage my employees app, for example, bring your own device kind of an ecosystem where if I want to have like an edge AI working on their devices, managing all their accesses and permissions, that is all possible today with AI, right? And the fourth one is obviously security. So, with regards to an anomaly detection and all of that, with high reasoning models that are available today, and with the capability of models which are, let's say like Sonnet 4 and all of that, it makes anomaly detection a lot more effective and a lot more, possible. And we are able to now implement that directly within Infisign, right? So efficient IT ticket automation, that's another thing. The fifth point, again, as I mentioned before, these are things that are closely associated with, any IT team, but not spoken about a lot. But IT ticket automation is something that can go hand in hand along with this. The primary thing that we try to focus on in Infisign right now is basically handling deflection as well. For example, how many tickets, or how can I go ahead without someone having to raise a ticket, right? So those are things that we are working on. And again, IT ticket automation, when it comes through an entire cycle, can again be handled effectively using Infisign. Yeah, please go ahead, Richa. Yeah, so let's do one thing. Let's probably go and see a quick demo, and then we can probably come back to it. So this demo, before I think Richa would get started, this demo is going to be about how we can integrate the Infisign AI chat on Teams engine to manage access permissions and policies. However, this can again be interfaced across multiple interfaces, like I just mentioned. And this can also act in the background, by the way, on the basis of a lot of triggers. So yeah, let Richa play the demo, and then we can then open up for Q&A.
Yes, Adi.
How to manage access queries in Infisign using an AI chatbot. This chatbot is conveniently integrated into our communication channel, Teams. Let's start by providing the necessary inputs. We begin by logging in, inputting the organization name and email ID. The system then requests authentication, which, once approved, allows us to log in. Now it's time to request the list of applications. Our next task is to assign a new user to the Salesforce application. We do this by assigning a new user to the Salesforce application. The system then requests the email address of the user. Let's assume it's a 2-month assignment. The user is now assigned to the Salesforce application. As you can see, we added the user via the chatbot, and here in Teams, the user is added with 2-month access in the portal. Next, let's inquire about the list of available groups. The system informs us that the available groups are operation, product, and marketing. We'll add one user to the operation group. The system confirms that the user has been successfully added to the operation group. We can verify this in the portal, where we can see that the user has been added to the operation group. Thank you for joining us. As you can see, users are successfully assigned to groups.
Yeah, thank you. So this was a quick, quick video that showed how the provisioning and deprovisioning can be done, and even just-in-time access can be controlled. And this can, again, like as I said before, this can actually work along with the MCP and to provide a lot more orchestration and workflows. But we just wanted to quickly tease your thoughts with this quick thought. So yeah, let's open up for Q&A. If you guys have any questions, happy to answer them.
Now we are opening the floor for Q&A. So if you have any questions related to today's sessions, please feel free to raise your hand, and I will give access to you so that you can ask the question in live.
Yeah, I think Ramya has a question. Yeah.
Hi, Adi. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you, Ramya. Please go ahead.
Yeah, actually, this was a great section. And I just want to know, as a security platform, how can Infisign support the MCP authentication, M2M authentication, and A2A authentication? I just want to know, like, what kind of features would be the Infisign offer to enable these authentications effectively?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Ramya. So first one is, Infisign basically provides a lot of, for machine-driven authentication. It provides a lot of layers for enabling us to do that. So number one is for any kind of an A2A authentication, so you would basically need like an authorization layer where you can actually have a certain key stored, let's say something like an API key or some kind of a security key. So all of these, keys can actually be stored within Infisign, and all of these agents can be, let's say even within Tunai, each of these agents can actually get authorized, from Infisign before having to, move ahead and communicate with another agent. Right. So all of this is actually available for agentic authentication within Infisign as well. And that is something that we also use within Tunai. So to answer your question, I think it's a thin layer that you have to use, and it also depends where exactly you're using these agents. Infisign is again available across a lot of these interfaces. It's available on your CLI. It's available for API authorizations. It's available at all these interfaces, across these systems. So it depends on your use case, and you can actually use it, in any one of these places.
Okay, that was great.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Ramya. Yeah, I think Suman.
Yes, Suman, I have just given access for you to talk.
Hello.
Hey, hi, Suman. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. So, first of all, it was a great session, Aditya. And so, what exactly I want to know, like, as organizations, they're having some provisioning tools, right? The last IJ tools and
Suman,
how
your voice is kind of breaking up. Not able to hear you properly. Yeah, can you try speaking now? Sorry.
am I now?
Not yet. Not yet, Suman. Do you mind typing in your query on the chat as well, Suman? Because we're not able to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or can you try speaking now? I think at the fad end, we were able to hear you fine.
Okay.
Looks a
Let me
lot,
know if you can able to hear me.
lot better, Suman. Go ahead. Yes.
Okay, sorry. So, I want to know, most of the organizations, they're using the IGA tool. Okay. So how AI is going to and we cannot ask the clients or the other organization or customer to move out from the IGA tool and go with the revenue user. Before that, we have to build trust. And so just understand how AI is getting into the IGA tool, because most of the tools are the SaaS product, and
Right.
that is not in our control. Yeah.
So no, that's a
how it
great.
can be helpful.
Perfect. I think that's a great question, Suman. So I'll probably answer by saying AI is not going to be replacing any IGA tool, right? And it is going to be complementing the IGA tool, Suman. So from what I've seen, so let's say you have like a traditional IGA tool, right? So the traditional IGA tool might, was not able to, or was able to just write some information to a BI tool so far. And I'm not sure how many of us have even looked at those BI intelligence, because there's so much that we have built as a KPI, but none of us like going through those KPIs, right? But with AI now, this can actually get accelerated, and there could be a lot of context-aware conversations that can actually get raised on the basis of the intelligence that these IGA tools already have. This is number one, right? So the second one is, you can actually go ahead and use, let's say if you use something like an Anthropic Claude, Anthropic's MCP, right, on top of these IGA tools. Now you can actually connect a lot of these AI agents to these existing IGA tools to make them AI ready, right? So see, the whole point is for us to not replace these tools, but to complement on these tools to make it work a lot better with AI agents. So that is something that I also covered on that flowchart, right? So what I was trying to say is, when you have an AI agent, and when you couple that AI agent with any of these tools, it can actually help you orchestrate your organizational policies a lot better, generate insights from those organizational policies a lot better, and rather than actually going ahead and replacing any of these tools. So to answer your question, I don't think we need to replace the existing IGA tool, but we can actually use these agents to complement and also reflect back on the intelligence that it creates a lot better. So did that
Okay.
answer your question, Suman? Because that is how I see it for now. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. I have one more question. Like regarding the audit. So are we going to audit logs as well? Maybe who did that and who added the access, who did the provisioning, deprovisioning, all possible?
Yes, yes, Suman, absolutely. So let's say you write all of these logs to a CM tool today, right? So even within Tunai ecosystem, we have something called event stream analytics, right? So you basically can load all these events into Tunai, and so what Tunai can do is it can help you query those insights on a real time, or even better, right? So when Tunai and Infisign can couple together, we can actually create a lot of these anomaly agents, so which can actually start predicting anomalies on a real time, and then trigger a workflow and ping you when there is an anomaly that is seen, which is very critical, right? So to answer your question, we can actually connect all of this to say Datadog or any of the popular CM tools out there and actually trigger an entire workflow out of it.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Perfect, Suman. Perfect. Thank you, Suman. Those were great questions. Thank you. Yeah. Perfect. So do we have any other questions? Okay, I think we have a few questions on the chat. Yeah, so does Infisign also offer iris-based authentication to enable hands-free and keyboard-free? Yes, Infisign does offer iris-based authentications today. And so we also offer other authentication types as well. So we offer smart card-based authentication, RFID readers. And so all of this is used to enable hands-free and keyboard-free passwordless authentications. We do fingerprint, fingerprint auth as well. So, so on all of that is available as well with Infisign. And we have another, question from Akilin. How AI is used for provisioning new users in Active Directory? Yeah, so that's a great question again. So with regards to how AI is used for provisioning, so AI would be an agentic layer that could be triggering a lot of these workflows, as I mentioned in my demo. So the second part of it would be Infisign, which would actually be provisioning and deprovisioning users. So how does Infisign provision users into Active Directory? We can either do like an LDAP sync, or we can also do a SCIM integration, SEIM integration. So Tunai or any other AI agents can be a triggering factor there. So it can basically trigger Infisign. So Infisign has connectors with AI agents. It can actually act on top of LangGraph and all of these frameworks. So it can get triggered from these AI agents, and then and this can actually be used to provision or deprovision from Active Directory. But yeah, so another question is, does Infisign support on-premise deployment to support cloud on-premise applications? Yes, so Infisign, supports hybrid deployments. Infisign does support on-premise deployments. It does support, cloud deployments as well. So you can actually deploy Infisign within a certain VPC, and and you can enable all of these agents to automatically manage your provisionings. It's a pretty easy integration, especially if it's on the cloud. If it's on-prem and you have applications on the hybrid ecosystem, so Infisign can also provide you with a consultation on how the architecture setup needs to be. And yes, and to answer your question, yes, we can do that. Perfect. I think Ashwin has a question.
Hi, Hadi. Yeah,
Hi.
so I do have a question. So now using our agentic layer in a security platform, so I think it's a very great use case, but there are some limitations to consider, right? So when implementing an AI tool like this in a security product, there's a question arises at what level it affects compliance or security. So how much authority will it have in terms of authorization and access control?
No, I think that's a great question, Ashwin. I think to answer this question, I think we need to probably look at a design aspect of what exactly are you giving access to, Ashwin. To be honest, so number one is providing or using an AI as a workflow does not necessarily provide it any access on your PIIs or PHI. So basically, none of the users' informations are getting triggered over here. So if you notice, if I go back to the workflow that that we had showcased, Tunai simply acts as a workflow initiator for Infisign, but most of the grunt work at the back of the scene is basically done by Infisign and not by the AI itself, right? So when we do this, what we are essentially enabling Infisign to do is we are informing Infisign to perform a certain task, but the AI is not basically performing that task. It is Infisign that's performing that task, right? So within Infisign, you can make sure that the security and all of that is in place, and none of that information is actually sent back or provided back to any AI agent, right? So the LLMs do not get hold of that particular information at all.
Thanks, Adi. Thanks for answering that. Yeah.
Perfect. I think yeah. So I think Jagan has a question.
Yeah, so just wanted to check with you on how this Infisign password vault can help in sharing the credentials securely to end users, because a few of our customers are having more than 200 plus credentials are getting shared with the users to do their job. They have to log into multiple applications. How you can able to secure through Infisign?
Yeah, sure. So Infisign does offer a password vault. So what there are a couple of layers to this. Number one is the password vault by itself. The other one is the layer that provides the zero trust security to these password vaults. So these password vaults can enable you to store multiple master accounts password and also sub accounts password, and all of this is all available on a secure vault which is stored within your VPC and not on any browser or and of course it can also be stored on the edge devices, but since we are also compliant towards a lot of enterprises, we store it on your VPC. It is not stored anywhere else securely within a DMZ deployment. So now when, for example, if you can have multiple applications which might not be supported by a traditional SSO layer. So in that particular case, you can actually use an Infisign vault or the password vault, as Jagan was saying, so to actually give authorizations to a certain user. So now a couple of things that it addresses, right? So number one is, even if there is an application that you currently have, that might not support SSO, and you want to ensure that you revoke the user's access after they leave the organization, that is possible using this particular system. Because or else they kind of you have the problem of them taking the password wherever they go. So and you have to basically revoke the user from the application and everything manually, and so that's a lot of work, right? So that is number one. The second one is password sharing. In most of the especially for most of the SaaS applications, usually there's a lot of password sharing that happens even within an enterprise, even within a startup or any organization. So all of that can actually be controlled. And even if you have like tens and thousands of websites that you want to basically bring this ecosystem in, especially we've seen this with a lot of companies, especially which build applications around, say, Salesforce, and they keep building applications which has a lot of iframes and all of that, and they want security for all of that. All of that, this can actually be managed using Infisign password vault.
Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah. All right. I think anyone else? So I don't see any new questions. So yeah, perfect. I think all right then. Yeah. So Richa, you wanna give the final notes?
Yes, Adi. In the Q&A, Adi.
Okay, sorry. Just so you've shared great insights on AI and user. How do you envision this technology evolving? What new advancements? Okay, that's a very interesting question. So how do I see this technology evolving over the next 2 to 3 years, and what new advancements can we expect in the space? So 2 to 3 years is a long time for AI. I keep saying that to almost everyone that I speak with. It's like the next 2 3 months is going to be exciting. 2 to 3 years is going to be like a huge leap for AI, to be honest. But to answer your question, I think the next biggest advancement that I'm currently seeing is agents moving into the AGI space. And GPT-7 is going to be a great example for it. Is what I hear and what I see. But what is currently happening is, there's a lot of advancements that are happening in the way retrievers function. Interoperability is becoming a very big topic within the AI space. And so how can applications speak with one another? And that's one of the key things that we also spoke today in this webinar today. So how do you use, the protocols A2A, MCP is all going to get even more powerful with all the interop capability that is going to come through. And A2A is just the start of it, and it's already amazing, right? So yeah, so A2A, MCP, and then we are going to have a lot of talks around AGI, and there's going to be self-reasoning. Right now, there's a lot of chain of thought reasoning and a lot of these reasoning models today, and there's going to be self-reasoning with AGI, which is going to be very interesting and exciting, I guess. Yeah. Perfect. I think thanks so much for that question. Yeah. Yeah, Richa. I think almost there.
Yes, Adi. So it was a great session, and thank you all for joining today's webinar. And we hope you gained valuable insights into future of AI-driven user provisioning and how it's transforming the access management. And if you have any further questions or would like to learn more about it, you can feel free to reach out to us. And we will be back soon with another exciting webinar. So you can follow us on our social media platform, that's Infisign. And we will continue and look forward for this journey to be continued with the innovation together. And yeah, have a great day.